Goeiemôre graad 12 en welkom by vandag se Afrikaanse les. Good morning grade 12 and welcome to today's Afrikaans first additional language lesson. Aan die einde van die les sal jy 'n beter begrip hê van afdeling C, vraag 3 en 4 en jy sal ook jou woordsoorte beter kan identifiseer. At the end of the lesson, you will have a better comprehension of section C, question 3 and 4. And you will be able to identify your parts of speech as they are asked in question 3 and 4. In one of our previous lessons, I did a whole lesson on analyzing the advertisement and what you had to look out for. In today's lesson, I'm not going to look at analyzing the advertisement again. We can maybe look at it at a later stage again. However, there are a few things that you need to keep in mind. Ek sê afdeling C taal, vraag 3, advertensie. Die taalvraag wat volg is op die advertensie onder gebaseer. Die nommering in die advertensie verwys na die vraagnommer wat beantwoord moet word. Okay, so they say that language questions that follow are based on the advertisement, and unlike our previous question paper, this question actually has the numbers of the questions within the text. Okay, you remember in our last one on the advertentie, 6 out of the 10 marks were based on the interpretation of the advertisement. In this question paper, 3 of the 10 marks are based on the interpretation of the advertisement. Let's quickly have a look. Roosie se restaurant. Kom loer gerus in. Nou oop vir lekkerste ontbyt ooit. Goeie aanbieding. Lekker ontbyt. Slegs R29.95. Net maandag van 8 tot 11. 2 eiers, wors, 2 reepies spek, rooster tomaties en 'n snytjie roosterbrood. Hier word gaste vriende, kom geniet elke oomblik, hoek van Noord en Kerkstraat Bloemhof, skakel vir Rosie vir u of jou spesiale geleentheid. Okay, so dit is nou die advertensie. Kom ons kyk na die vraag. Vraag 3.1 sê, kies die korrekte woord uit die tussen hakkies, skryf net die vraagnommer en die antwoord neer. Die herhaling van die R-klank in Rosie se restaurant, alliterasie is om 'n mens se aandag te trek of die kos te adverteer. Nou ek het hier geskryf om 'n mens se aandag te trek. It is to grab your attention. But that's what om 'n mens se aandag te trek beteken. They make use of alliteration in advertisements to grab our attention. Just like they make use of questions, exclamations, because they want us to give our attention to the advertisement that we can actually buy the product or make use of the service. Goed, voltooi die sin met die korrekte lidwoord. Nou, julle moet weet wat 'n lidwoord is. You need to know what a lidwoord is. If you do not know what a lidwoord is, then you can't answer the question. Nou, lidwoorde is your article. Jy kry 'n bepaalde lidwoord, dis die, en jy kry 'n onbepaalde lidwoord, 'n. Okay, so nou weet jy klaar, jy moet kies tussen die en 'n. You know you have to choose between those two. Maar nou, watter een kies jy? Which one do you choose? Kom ons kyk na die sin. Nou ook vir lekkerste ontbyt ooit. Now, if you remember, when we discussed the degree of comparisons, the third group, I said, where you get the st, you can use die in front of the word. So if I've got mooi, mooier, die mooiste. Lekker, lekkerder, die lekkerste. So therefore, we will pick die. Vervang die woord tussen hakkies met 'n woord wat meer emosie beskryf. So you have to replace the word in brackets with a word that expresses more emotion. So as ek sê goeie aanbieding, a good deal, that sounds okay. Okay, just sounds okay. Nou sê ek wonderlike aanbieding. Dis 'n fantastiese aanbieding. By saying wonderful or fantastic deal, it gives a lot more emotion. Okay. Dan gee die intensiewe vorm van die woord tussen hakies. Nou asseblief matrieks, onthou dit is een woord. Okay, we spoke about it last time in the last question paper. One word. If the marker is in doubt, you will not get the mark. If there's the slightest gap between small and lekker, you will lose your marks. And it's a sad case where you know what the intensive form is, but you haven't written it down as one word. Okay, also remember I said please, as you go through these question papers, make notes. Have an exam pad that's just for Afrikaans or a notebook that's just for Afrikaans, and make the language notes as we go along. Make vocab lists. Like in today's lesson, there's two things that you should already have on those notes, and that is lidwoorde is articles, die and a, and now intensieve vorm, een woord. And as you go through these papers, you make lists of these intensieve vormen. The majority of them you should know by now because you've been studying them since primary school, but now the spelling is also important. So small, lekker, it has to have the double L because the word small ends on an L and lekker starts with an L and one word. Okay. Kies die korrekte antwoord, skryf nou die vraagnommer en die antwoord neer. Die gebruik van die woord slegs is 'n voorbeeld van partydigheid, manipulering, stereotypering of veralgemening. Okay, now slegs means only. I did put that little bit from the advertisement in here that you could just see. Slegs R29.95. Nou moet jy weet wat hierdie woorde beteken. You need to know what these words mean. Otherwise you're going to struggle to answer the question. So partydigheid means you're biased or you're being partial to something. Manipulering is when you're being manipulated. Stereotypering, you're stereotyping. And veralgemening is generalization. Now, usually in an advertisement, they are trying to manipulate you to buy something, or they are trying to convince you to buy something. Okay, so gewoonlik is dit oorreding. That is when they're trying to convince you to do something. Maar in hierdie geval is dit manipulering. Okay, they are trying to manipulate you to go out and buy this lovely breakfast because it's only R29.95. Goed, in een van die vorige lesse het ek baie aandag gegee aan deelwoorde. So kom ons kyk gee die korrekte vorm van die woord tussen hakies. Hulle soek die verlede deelwoord. They were very nice in this question paper. They actually told you what they wanted. Okay, so remember when we did deelwoorde, I said jy kry 'n teenwoordige deelwoord, 'n present participle en 'n verlede deelwoord, 'n past participle. Met 'n verlede deelwoord, okay, it's already happened, dit het al reeds gebeur, en gewoonlik voeg jy ge plus te of de aan die einde van die woord. Okay, so this is exactly the same here. 2 eiers, wors, 2 reepies spek, geroosterde tomaties en 'n snytjie roosterbrood. Roasted tomatoes. I also said you must try and translate it into English because then you know if it's a present or a past participle. In this case, past, roasted. Okay, so we add the ge, and because the word is ending on an R, we're adding a de. Okay, nou hierdie volgende vraag is vir julle partykeer moeilik. The next question you sometimes find difficult, and it's eintlik maklik. It's actually quite simple. Herskryf die volgende sin. Kom geniet elke oomblik. Goed, nou hierdie tipe sin is 'n bevelsin. Okay, it's an instruction. Now, what was my rule when I started with language? I said you always have to identify your verbs. That is extremely important. So, we've got 2 verbs here, but you can both see them together as verb 1, kom geniet. Okay, so dit is ons verb 1. Nou is hulle begin so jy moet. Now, as soon as you add an auxiliary verb, Your other verbs become the verb too. And what does the Stompie rule tell us? It says subject, verb 1, time, object, manner, place, and then my verb 2. Okay, so this is exactly what's happening here. Where this was now my verb 1, it's becoming my verb 2 and it's moving to the end. Jy moet elke oomblik kom geniet. Okay. Dan, watter woord kan die koppelteken hieronder vervang? Nou moet julle die funksies van julle skryftekens ken. You need to know the functions of your skryftekens. Don't confuse skryftekens met leestekens. In Afrikaans is dit twee verskillende goed. Okay, so those writing symbols, if I can call it that, the two dots you put on some words, the cuppy that you put on some words, those differ from punctuation. And you need to know their functions. So I've listed some of them, and I do think it's important that you take note of this. Okay, so Els het al oor die deelteken gepraat. We have spoken about the deelteken, maar ek sê, so as ons kyk na die deelteken, is dit geëet, en dit dui die begin van 'n nuwe lettergreep aan. The deelteken indicates the start of a new syllable. And you can actually hear when I pronounce the word. Listen carefully. Geëet. Okay. If I didn't have the deelteken there, I will pronounce the word as geet, because I wouldn't know how. But now the deelteken is telling me this is the start of a new syllable. So, geëet. Die volgende skryfteken is die kappie. Okay, lê, en dit maak die klank lank. Okay, elongates the sound. Dan die koppelteken is daar 'n klomp funksies. There's a lot of functions with the koppelteken. I've only mentioned 2 here today, and one that goes with this question and then another one. So ek sê hierso eeu oue, daar's die koppelteken. Now, century old, that's what eeu oue means. Goed, so ons gebruik die koppelteken om lees te vergemaklik by die opeenhoping van klinkers. So we do make use of the hyphen to make it easier to read, especially if we've got a lot of vowels in the word. If I didn't put that hyphen there, a lot of us won't know how to pronounce the word. Okay, and that's why we put the hyphen there. In question 3.8, they are asking another function. So let's quickly have a look. Watter woord kan die koppelteken hieronder vervang? So which word can replace the hyphen in the sentence below? Hoek van Noord en Kerkstraat. Nou, die koppelteken het 'n ander funksie, en dit is 'n weglatingsteken. Okay, so the hyphen has another function where it leaves out words. So actually, I'm saying Hoek van Noordstraat en Kerkstraat. But now to shorten it, I go Hoek van Noord en Kerkstraat. Okay, so know these two functions. En dan die laaste enetjie is die afkappingsteken. Paas. Nou onthou, die afkappingsteken in Afrikaans word nie gebruik om te wys dat jy iets besit nie. Dit word gebruik by die meervoud van woorde wat op u en 'n beklemtoonde a eindig. Guys, it's extremely important. The apostrophe in Afrikaans is not used to show possession. It is used to indicate the plural of words ending on I-O-U and an A that carries the emphasis. Let me just explain the A that carries the emphasis. If we've got pa, there's only one syllable and the emphasis is on that syllable. Therefore it gets apostrophe S to indicate there's more than one dad. If I say opa, which is your grandfather, and I want to use the plural opas, there won't be apostrophe S because now the emphasis is on the O. Okay, he's an old dad. Okay, so opa. Right, so there's the emphasis. It's only when the A is emphasized that it will get an apostrophe S. Okay. Watter een woord in die advertensie pas by die foto? Now it's asking which one word in the advertisement goes with the photo. Now the photo was of that lovely breakfast. So in the advertisement we find the word ontbyt. Dan sê 3.10, kies die korrekte woord uit die tussen hakkies, skryf net die vraagnommer en die antwoord neer, skakel vir Rosie vir jou spesiale geleentheid. Nou wil ek net met julle praat oor voornaamwoorde. I just want to speak to you about pronouns. In Afrikaans, u and jou, if you translate it into English, both mean you. However, u is very formal Afrikaans, and you will use it in a situation, let's say you're a shop assistant, and you are serving a customer, and you're addressing that person in Afrikaans. You don't know anything about them. You want to sound professional, you want to sound formal, and then you would use the pronoun u. For example, kan ek u vandag help? Can I help you? From a shop assistant's perspective. However, in an advertisement, they want you to feel like they are chatting to you directly. Okay, as if they know what you want, they know you personally. And therefore, you will use the word jou. Die adverteerder spreek die leser direk aan en wil die leser oortuig om by die restaurant to kom eet. Okay, they're trying to convince you to come and eat. Okay, so they're addressing you directly and they're not wanting you to feel formal as if they don't know you. So therefore we will use jou. Okay, nou is ons by die strokiesprent. Nou in my vorige les oor die strokiesprent het ek gesê dit gaan alles oor wat jy sien. Okay, I said it's very important in my previous lesson on the analysis of the cartoon, and I actually used these googly eyes as well. It's all about what you see. Okay, ek sê onthou, het gaan oor wat jy sien en liggaamshouding, body language. Okay, so kom ons kyk na hierdie strokiesprent. Dit sê, vraag 4 strokiesprent. Die taalvraag wat volg is op die strokiesprent hieronder gebaseer. Opsetlike taalfoute kom voor, voer die instruksies by elke vraag uit. Okay, so the language questions are based on the cartoon, and then they say, if you come across language mistakes within the cartoon, it has been done on purpose. Okay, so hier is ons weer met Jeremy. We've got Jeremy again, just like our previous one. Now let's just, while we go through it, look at their body language, look at how the words have been typed. Gelukkige Moedersdag. Dankie Jeremy. Kyk hoe lyk die ma. Kyk mamma se gesig. Liewe ma, vandag kan ma enigiets sê. Ek sal nie my oë rol nie. Okay, just dear mom, today you can say anything, I won't roll my eyes. Kyk hoe bly is die ma. Kyk hoe lyk sy. Kyk hoe lyk Jeremy, hy glimlag. Die ma sê, regtig. En die ma is nog steeds bly, she's still happy. Kom ons gaan vier dit met 'n slaaitjie. Look how Jeremy's body language has changed here. Ma vra vir Jeremy of hy nie haar bril gesien het nie. O, jene, kyk na Jeremy se gesig. Look what's happened to Jeremy's face. Sy oë, die sweetdruppels, sy mond. Dan, kom wys my weer stadig hoe om 'n foto met my selfoon te neem. Kyk hoe is die woord stadig getik. Kyk na Jeremy se gesig. Kyk sy oë, kyk sy mond. Nou sê die ma, dis koud, gaan trek tog gou 'n trui aan. Kyk wat het met Jeremy se oë gebeur. Kyk na sy mond. Kyk hoe is hierdie woorde getik. Okay, so now look how this has been typed. Everything else, capitals, small letters, just capitals. A lot of exclamation marks. En nou, kyk hoe mama hier gelyk. Kyk hoe lyk mama hier. Nou sê sy, o wel, dit was seker die gedagte wat getel het. En Jeremy se oë lê nou nog daar. Volgende jaar kry ma net 'n kaartjie. Okay, so the body language is extremely important, how the words have been typed. Okay, just for your information, in this cartoon, 7 punte uit 10 is gebaseer op die interpretasie van die strokiesprent. 7 out of 10 marks are based on the interpretation of the cartoon. Okay, so not as many on language this time. Goed, so verwys na Jeremy se Moedersdag boodskap in raampie 2. Wat kan jy hieruit van Jeremy se normale gedrag aflei? What can you derive, that's what the word aflei means, from Jeremy's normal behavior? Now I've inserted the frames to each of the questions, it's just easier. So kom ons kyk, liewe ma, vandag kan maar enigiets sê, ek sal nie my oor rol nie. Okay, so what do we derive from Jeremy's normal behavior? Hy rol gewoonlik sy oor. He usually rolls his eyes. Goed, nou sê 4.2. Gebruik die homoniem van 4 in 'n sin sodat die betekenis duidelik is. Nou kom ons kyk eers na die sinnetjie. Kom ons gaan vier dit met 'n slaaitjie. Let's go and celebrate. That's what that 4 means. Let's go and celebrate the salad. Maar jy moet nou weet wat 'n homoniem is. You can't answer this question if you don't know what a homoniem is. So 'n homoniem is woorde wat dieselfde gespel word, maar 'n ander betekenis het. It's words that are spelled the same, but they have a different meaning. So hier het ons, ek is 4 jaar oud. I'm 4 years old. 4 here is referring to number and not a verb. Goed, skryf die sin in raampie 5 in die direkte rede. Now we did spend some time on writing sentences from indirect to direct speech, from direct to indirect speech. Now they want you to take it from indirect to direct speech. Okay, so there's a few things that you need to remember. Identify verbs, circle pronouns, determine if the sentence that they want you to write is a statement or a question. Okay, so kom ons kyk. Ma vra vir Jeremy of hy nie haar bril gesien het nie. So hier's my werkwoorde. There's my verb. Het is my verb 1. Ek het 'n hy en 'n haar that I have to change, and because my introductory sentence has been joined with the of, I'm busy with a question sentence, but a question sentence where the question starts with the verb. Okay. Now in this paper, it's only for 1 mark, so everything has to be correct to actually get that 1 mark. So let's take it step by step. Ma vra vir Jeremy. The of now falls away. I put a colon, inverted commas. My question is starting with verb 1, so that's moving to the front. Het with a capital letter, jy nie my bril gesien nie, question mark, close the inverted commas. Goed, dan sê 4.4, noem een visuele teken in raampie 5, wat daarop dui dat Jeremy geïrriteerd is met al die goed wat sy ma sê. So one visual sign. Name one visual sign. What do you see? From this frame, to indicate that Jeremy is irritated with his mother. So wat sien ons? Ek sê hierso, hoe lyk Jeremy? Sy oë, sy mond. Liggaamshouding is baie belangrik. The body language is extremely important. So wat sien ons? Dat hy geïrriteerd is. Sy oë is grootlik. His eyes are wide open. Daar is sweetdruppels om sy gesig. There are drops of sweat around his face. Jy kon self gesê sy mond is vreemd getrek. He's got a funny way of pulling his mouth, you only needed to mention one. Okay, so if you just wrote sy oë is groot oop, then you'll get the mark. Okay. Kies die korrekte antwoord, skryf net die vraagnommer en die letter neer, byvoorbeeld 4.5e. Watter idioom pas by Jeremy se gesigsuitdrukking in raampie 6? Jy A, lieg soos 'n tandetrekker, B, doen iets met lang tande, C, byt op jou tande, D, is tot die tande toe gewapen. So hoe lyk hy hier? Hy byt op sy tande. He's biting on his teeth. Okay. Ma vra vir Jeremy of haar te wys hoe om 'n foto met haar selfoon te neem. Op watter manier beklemtoon ma dat Jeremy geduldig met haar moet wees? In which way does the mom emphasize that Jeremy has to be patient, geduldig, to be patient with her? So, ma spel die woord stadig uit. Okay. So when she says slowly show me how to take a photo with a cell phone. Okay, it's the way the word has been typed to indicate to us that she wants him to show some patience. So ek sê weer, kyk hoe die woorde getik is. It's extremely important to look how the words have been typed. Jeremy het uiteindelik nie gedoen wat hy vir sy ma gesê het hy sou doen nie. In the end, Jeremy didn't do what he told his mother he would do. Hoe kan 'n mens dit in raampie 7 sien? How can you see it? Okay. So hoe lyk hy? Wat sien jy? Sy oë het fisies uit sy kop gespring. His eyes are physically jumped out of his body. Jeremy skree op sy ma. He's screaming, Ma! Okay, he's irritated. So he's screaming. We can derive that from how that has been typed, Ma. En sy mond is groot oop. His mouth is wide open. Only one. You only have to mention one. I think the fact that the eyes jumped out of his head is the most apparent one. So dan, baie belangrik, hoe verskil ma se gesigsuitdrukking in raampie 3 van haar gesigsuitdrukking in raampie 8? Now when they ask you a question on how does something differ, verskil, then it's usually for 2 marks. And you have to refer to the one frame and then to the other frame. Okay, here it's become a multiple choice question where you choose between the brackets. Kies die korrekte woord uit die tussen hakies. In raampie 1 lyk ma, how does she look? In raampie 1 lyk ma opgewonde of hartseer. Now we look at raampie 3. Now a lot of you know hartseer is heart sore. She definitely doesn't look heart sore in frame 3. Therefore, if you didn't know what this word meant, sorry, you can pick it because we know hartseer, heart sore, that's not how she looks. The word opgewonde means excited. Sy is opgewonde. En in raampie 8 lyk ma verbaas of teleurgestel. So how does she now look in frame 8? Okay, so the word verbaas means she's shocked or surprised. En die woord teleurgestel means disappointed. In hierdie raampie is sy teleurgestel. She is disappointed. As sy verbaas was, if she was surprised, her eyes would be wide open. Okay, in the frame. So dit is nie kyk hoe hang haar skouertjies. Look how her shoulders are sagging. Goed, en dan 4.9. Kies die korrekte antwoord, skryf net die vraagnommer en die letter neer. Hoe word tieners in hierdie strokies prent gestereotipeer? Now, I said to you, when you get the cartoon, they will ask you about stereotypical behavior, be it on Jeremy, be it on that cartoon. I said you should all go and have a look at Meester, where it's the teacher with Nielsie, the student that's not interested. It's the male teacher. He's always grumpy. Nielsie is always uninterested. Okay, so let's have a look at the 4 options. Tieners weet alles van tegnologie af. Tieners is geïrriteerd met hulle ouers. Tieners kommunikeer nie met hulle ouers nie. Tieners gee graag by ander mense geskenke. Now, out of those 4, I would say 3 is very stereotypical teenage behavior. Teenagers do know a lot about technology. They are irritated with their parents. They don't communicate with their parents. I mean, how many times have you climbed in a car with your mom or dad and they ask, hoe was your dag? And you respond, okay. Ne? You don't communicate, and then D says they like to give gifts to other people. But A, B, and C is very stereotypical behavior of teenagers. However, the question asks, in this cartoon, how are teenagers stereotyped? And that would be beer. Hulle is geïrriteerd met hulle ouers. They are irritated with their parents. Kyk, dan sê ek onthou nou, daar is twee tipes lidwoorde, die bepaalde lidwoord die en die onbepaalde lidwoord 'n. Very important. Your articles, die en 'n. Intensiewe forme is altyd een woord, they always one word. Ken die funksies van jou skryftekens. Know the functions of your kappie, deelteken, koppelteken, afkappingsteken. Weet wat 'n homoniem is. Know what a homonym is. Onthou, dit is woorde wat dieselfde gespel is, maar 'n ander betekenis het. Die laaste ding, kyk by strokiesprente na die liggaamstaal en hoe woorde getik is. Body language, how stuff has been typed in a cartoon. Nou kom kuier gerus weer saam met my môre. Môre sal ons na nog taalstrukture kyk en weer 'n opsomming as oefening doen. Tomorrow we're going to do a few more language structures. We're going to see if we can get to a summary as well. We've already done one. I want to show you a different kind of summary that they've asked. Onthou, ons is besig met die DBE se graad 12 Afrikaans First Additional Language Mei 2018 vraestel 1. Okay, we are busy with the Department of Basic Education Grade 12 Afrikaans First Additional Language Paper 1 of May 2018. Okay, and please follow us on social media, #LockdownESchool, #Cecil Foundation, #STEM Champions, @Africa Teen Geeks, @DBE_SA, and follow Africa Teen Geeks on YouTube. Guys, I will see you tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Stay warm, stay healthy. Bye.